by that, don't they? Good morning. Morning, people. Apologies for the late start. We've just been sitting here talking about Jesus and weren't sure you guys want to hear it take part because I hear some of you complaining when we talk about God. Might want to look into that. But yes. Today is Thursday, the 3rd of July. Welcome to TDA, the day after. Your favourite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. I am one of your hosts for today, Martin Royalty.
And they call me E-Man, the pro-black activist, TDA producer and news analyst, melanin jam-packed.
It's making me want to say, hello.
Yes, there's a bit of an echo.
And of course, Brent is here.
Good morning, beautiful people. Sorry for our tardiness. It was literally just all my fault. I hate Jesus Christ and I just kind of focus
goes crazy
on the conversation. Jesus crazy?
Absolutely. Is that not the best crazy to be?
Oh,
you tried it.
Yeah.
You want rewards or not? Because you ain't earning them right now.
Good morning, Bathroom Diaries, Energy. Privately, Emmanuel said that he really rates you. Hold on to that. Gin and Gist, Corporate Prince.
Hold on to that.
Miss Prestige, Christy, Teddy Tibbs, Yema, Noreen, Ed, Amy Snowglobe, Davina, I think I said that, Mr. Ashlo's Natty, Yvette, Mark E, 9 Ether, TC, the Black Creator, one or we'll be with you very shortly. Is that what you're doing, yeah? Andrew Archibald.
Who said the show will be very shortly? Without knowing whether we're in the room.
Easy Bambino, the man from Uncle Ghana Greatness, for Anglin. I thought what you
it was E-Man that said that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Okay,
I hear talking about Jesus Christ. He's over there getting rewards from the TDA community.
You asked him a question about believing in heaven and judgment day, and I just stepped in, and he's like, "All right, then, I don't have to answer anymore."
That's true, you know, actually. That is so, you never actually said if we believe in judgment day or not.
Bex, Rachel D, is it Taylor's or Tyler's? Johannes Williams, Winnie, Mother Booth, Dr. Amani, and everybody else. I hope it is you're blessed and highly favored.
To be fair with me and Brent, I had a power cut the other day.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, my area. I couldn't believe it. On Tuesday, the hottest day of the year. Cause I remember I was on the phone to Marks and and then I had to use my handheld fan, my rave fan. And I thought, by the way, sorry, got a power cut in my area. This. And it was just crazy. And I was like, wow, wow. Not NEPA taking light. It's crazy work. Anyway, we're here now. What are you typing over there?
What are you up to, Brent?
Do you know something? He press work, he was like,
But sometimes you tell me, like, I'm wicked, innit?
Oh,
right?
Gosh. You started wickedness?
No. But why I said is because I didn't want you to think I was typing wickedness, right? But the fact you asked me, like, you think I'm doing something mischievous.
Do you know what's so funny? You asked me this as if 85% of the time you're not.
Just me typing. That's a normal thing somebody does at a desk with a computer in front of them. And,
yeah.
And
as soon
as I start doing it, you're like, Brent's working? What? It must be wickedness abounding.
No, because honestly, you have a lot to do.
Yeah.
So when you find spare time to be typing...
but it could be an email in response to somebody who just sent me something that I've been asked for a quote for.
Was it though?
No, it isn't. It's not related to that. But I'm doing normal work activities. And because of my nature, apparently, right, that you've given me.
It's not your nature.
You slapped on me.
It's not your nature. It's just the past 3 years of TVA. It's just... God forbid. Imagine me thinking... He was doing that when I've been here the past 3 years of him doing that.
I used to have a keyboard that was more silent than this.
Yeah, you did.
And it's in the corner.
I never met it.
I'm going to change it.
Never known of it.
Oh, man. Diddy's going to be free.
What the hell? Why would you say that?
Because that's
you
what
get no rewards. Zero rewards for you.
I am actually reading Discord right now, right?
Yes.
And that's what I was going to respond. I was typing a message. You know, I said yesterday certain people will be
so wickedness was involved somehow. Not you being wicked, Diddy's wicked.
Yes. You have a wickedness thermometer, whatever.
It's time to lock some people up in jail there. I think some people should do his sentence with him. Young Miami, I'm calling you first. You're first, girl. You gotta go. Sorry.
And on the timeline, I saw somebody like celebrating the fact that he could bust case.
Yeah, it's
like,
mad.
big. And then the person also said that like he wasn't gay, right? And then the whole host of replies says, but he rubbed male semen in his chest. And he said, what does qualify
Not
you
chest.
to be gay?
Let's not say
'Cause
chest.
that's
nipples.
right, you know. That's right. Does
On
that
the
qualify
nipples.
you to be a homosexual? It
Hershey
doesn't.
kisses. Hershey's kisses.
It doesn't, does it, Manuel? Yeah, it does. Manuel agrees. Manuel agrees. When he did it, it doesn't. You're shaking your head. You're shaking your head.
What? When who did it?
What?
You need to be clear about your sentences.
You know what I'm saying?
You need to be real clear.
The
That
fact
is
that he shook his head so vehemently,
rigorously.
he must have experience.
Who? Who are we talking about, Brent? Let's be very clear right now, man.
I think you should pull that curtain back
I'll say
and let him
something.
look in the eye
That's
and
how I
say,
know. That's how I
shut
know.
down the whole stream.
That's how
The
I
whole
know.
thing will be
5
shut
minutes
down.
show.
That's how I know. You only wake up to the parts of when I'm talking. Because
Nah,
I said
man.
what I said, what I said, what I
You
said.
can't put me in them sorts. No. Because I'll say something mad.
Do you know what killed me about everything, right? Like, of all the things all the conversations that's going on and everything, and people saying, yeah, like, they were never going to get in for a RICO. Yeah, like, why would he have been charged for a RICO? That didn't make sense. They didn't have enough evidence. T.I.'s wife, Tiny. T.I.'s wife, Tiny, says, yeah, free him just because you like freaky things, you're not guilty. Oh, y'all are next. Y'all are next. You and Jermaine, you're next. You're next. Because why is that why you are celebrating his being free? Because she thought, damn, if he gets charged, that's just a whole precedent. Like, now we're going to be out here just charging people for freaky sex. I just thought, why is that the verse you go with? Why would that be what crosses your mind? Little miss? Debauchery.
And I swear that thrown in there was the fact that he actually raped two people, Cassie and also such and such, right?
So
Because they weren't they
were high. They weren't coherent. So it's interesting because people are celebrating the 3 not guilties, but the 2 things he's guilty for are to do with essentially, like, it's to do with prostitution.
Yeah.
And these 2 women were involved in the prostitution. So it's so interesting what people are choosing to celebrate. But we'll talk about it in topic of the day.
All right, can you bust through the headlines all in one,
Interesting
please?
choice of words.
Yes, but I have to give a shout out, like I did on the birthday of the great Malcolm X.
We shout out love at people, you know.
Abby's birthday's today.
Huh?
Abby's birthday's today.
Abby.
Yeah.
Big up Abby.
Malcolm X, Abby.
What?
Great people are born on this day, you know?
What are you talking about?
Abby.
Abby.
You don't even know who Abby is?
No, but you mentioned the person, so I'm
My
picking them up.
sister-in-law, man.
Oh, big up Abby,
Oh.
man. Big up Abby. Okay. You should have given a bit more. You know what I'm saying?
sister.
You said Malcolm X, I said Abby. You should have clocked right away.
I don't understand the link.
There is no link. She's white. That's why I said it.
That's why.
That's why I said it. If you mention your sister-in-law, I would know. Right? I care about your people and your life. You obviously don't know
but
about.
what's that got to do with Malcolm? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Nothing other than he was a black activist.
I was thrown off when you said Abby. I thought Abiola. So when you said my sister-in-law, I'm like, that's not Stephen's name. Stephen White's name.
It's Darren.
I know, but then I just didn't make that connection.
Well, to be honest, I'm here. I'm here.
Are
That's why I'm
you?
getting rewards in heaven.
Are you?
That's why I'm getting rewards.
I know,
in heaven.
there's-
A bountiful amount.
You're
of
going to get
rewards.
a reward. You're going to get a type of reward. I don't know if it's a man, you might get a little shed.
Oh man.
Oh, see, Von is already ahead, man. He knows. He said
knows what?
big up Lumumba. You know what I'm saying? It's the 100th birthday. It would have been the 100th birthday of the great Patrice Emery Lumumba. Also,
Living to 100 sounds stressful. I'd be so irritated.
Yeah, but you know, the white man had to get involved and stop his life at only 36.
36?
Don't worry, Esther, I'm going to tell you a bit about this
of course
great
you
man.
will.
You know what I'm saying? DCF Mux, his birthday's tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday, babes.
Come on.
To be fair, there's a show tomorrow. You could have told us tomorrow. We've done a fresh happy birthday. Happy birthday, babes.
Yeah, you know
You
what I'm
get
saying?
it twice.
You will get it twice, actually.
Twice is nice. That's double the rewards.
And tomorrow I'm going to tell you and DC Monks, I'm going to tell you the significance of your birthday tomorrow.
You're going to give me the maths on
It's
your
going to
birthday.
make sense when I tell you tomorrow. But
Somebody asked if you had a stylist yesterday. Oh, it's so funny when it is what the person said. I think it was Stacey. Said, "Man, do you have a stylist? Is that a stylist? Like, why is it weird that you have a stylist?
Because why does he have a
It's fitting,
stylist?
isn't it?
It's fitting because wait, like his persona. But why does he have a stylist? Really and truly.
Yeah, because he has a
yeah, I like to do
Android.
this.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Every time I see that, I think it's an iPad.
Oh yeah, iPad's got them as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but no one uses it.
That's because you lot do the basic stuff. You know what I'm saying? I need to be able to do all that sort of stuff. But anyway, let's give some time to the great Patrice Emery Lumumba. For those who don't know, he was born July 2nd, 1925 in Honolulu in Congo.
Were you here yesterday?
No.
Oh, fair. I'm thinking it's the third.
And, you know, like many of our greats, he rose from humble beginnings to become a towering symbol of African liberation and anti-colonial resistance. He was self-educated. He was eloquent, intelligent, a beautiful human being, right? He emerged during the height of European imperial dominance as a man that was unwilling to beg for freedom. And he demanded that we be free. His people be free, right? Which obviously sent ramifications around the whole of Africa. In the 1950s, yeah, he became an outspoken critic of Belgian colonial rule, which had exploited the Congo for decades, as you guys know. King Leopold and his devilish antics decimated the country. 10 to 15 million people killed because of his selfish ambitions, right? And it just left the people impoverished, as you guys know, right? Despite the country, even to this day, having an immense amount of natural wealth. He helped form a political group in 1958, Movement National Congolais, which is MNC, right? And they basically saw a united, independent Congo that's free from tribal divisions, free from manipulation from the outside, free from all the influences of the West, right? And of course, Belgium, right? And by 1960, he basically led Congo to independence, man. On June 30th, 1960, at the age of 35, just 35 years old, he was sworn in as Congo's first democratically elected prime minister. And on that day, and this is one of the main things I think contributed to what later happened, while the Belgian king was giving a speech, it was such a condescending speech, right? And he was talking about, you know, how Belgium basically helped Congo. They civilized the Congolese people. And then Lumumba basically responded to that in front of the world, right? And basically gave a fiery, off-the-dome freestyle that really just spoke to how, don't infantilize us. You know what I'm saying? We don't need you, nonsense people. Get the hell out of here. Independence, move. Everyone, of course, was upset. When I say everyone, the devils were upset, right? And he basically just denounced colonialism and basically said, this is not a gift. You people didn't come and give us anything. It was a crime. You lot are criminals. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it was one of those speeches that basically just shook all of the Western powers. And obviously at that point, they pretty much decided, listen, we need to get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
Just the beginning of independence, right? And within months, his government basically faced internal conflicts. There was a mutiny, foreign sabotage, all sorts of stuff. And like I said, I believe there's even documentaries talking about how the Belgian people, when I said Belgian people, the government basically, together with the West, CIA and all that sort of stuff, came together, concocted a plan to basically get rid of him. They feared him. They feared his Pan-African stance. They feared his black nationalist stance. And basically, he tried to get help from the United Nations. Similar thing that Malcolm X tried to do, speak to the United Nations. But hopefully we know today the United Nations don't do nothing for nobody, right? Yeah. There's evidence of this right now going on in Palestine. We know this, right? And they basically failed to act. And when they failed to act, he obviously turned to the Soviet Union. Funny that a lot of our people are kind of doing that today with Russia, right? And this basically triggered a lot of Cold War fears. And so with the backing of Western powers, including Belgium, United States, the CIA, like I mentioned before, he was overthrown, he was imprisoned, and he was eventually executed. And I'm kind of just glossing over how that particular thing happened. But it was horrible. And like I said to Von some time ago, I believe maybe a couple of weeks ago, we're going to have to dedicate an episode to Patrice Lumumba so that people can actually know about how great he is and also the evil that was concocted behind the scenes to basically kill him as well. And yeah, man, 1961, January 17th, just 35 years old. He was killed, man. There was a plot coordinated by the Belgian authorities and Congolese collaborators as well. They paid a man, Mobutu, and they basically said to him, look, we're going to give you X amount of money to kill him. He said, I don't even need your money. I'll do it for free. This is the extent of the betrayal, right? And they tried to do all sorts of stuff. And again, in the same documentary, they speak about how they dissolved his body. Sorry, guys, trigger warning. In acid to prevent him from becoming a martyr. Yeah. And one of these people was even talking about how they had one of his teeth as like a memorabilia sort of thing about, you know, the achievement that they did in getting rid of Patrice Lumumba. But that aside, today we remember him as one of Africa's greatest sons, man. A legendary guy, a visionary who believed in Pan-African unity, dignity and independence for all oppressed people around the world. He became a martyr, not because the man was trying to start wars, but because he didn't believe our world, African people's world, should be built on lies. And he stood up for that, and he told the world in front of the Belgian, monarch, that we're not standing for this nonsense. Don't try and control the narrative. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, his legacy lives on in every struggle for black dignity and sovereignty, from Congo to the Caribbean, all over the world. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, today would have been his 100th birthday, man. So big up the memory of the great Patrice Emery Lumumba, man. And that's it, guys. Let's go into our headlines.
Muchas gracias. Let's get into the headlines.
All right, people. So the first headline is what we're pretty much going to talk about in the topic of the day. So I probably won't mention too much about it. Just to let you guys know, of course, that Sean Diddy Combs will remain in custody as he awaits sentencing after a jury found him guilty on 2 out of 5 counts, right, in his high-profile sex trafficking trial, but acquitted him of the most serious charge of racketeering. But we're going to get into all of that.
Yeah, I just remembered when my mum borrowed my car yesterday. So when I turned it on this morning, LBC was on. And the guy really thought he was like, oh, I can't remember what he said, something about oh, people don't really believe in praying. It's just something to do with prayer. But he said, well, you know who was praying? Sean Diddy Combs, in court on his knees praying. And it was just the way he said that. I said, sir, if you don't get it, it's 7 a.m., sir, please. But anyways.
Next headline, MPs have voted in favour of legislation to prescribe group Palestine Action as a terrorist organisation, passing by 385 votes to 26. The order, which amends the Terrorism Act 2000, is now expected to be signed by the Home Secretary Yvette Cooper and come into effect later this week. So once in effect, supporting Palestine Action will become a criminal offence. Are you listening to this, guys? Supporting Palestine Action will become a criminal effect, with membership or expressing support for the direct action group punishable by up to 14 years in prison. However, legal action is underway to try and temporarily block the order, with a hearing scheduled to take place on Friday at London's High Court. Palestine Action has been granted the hearing pending further proceedings to decide whether a legal challenge can be brought. And following the vote by MPs, 4 people were arrested in a protest, organised by Palestine Action outside of Westminster. Diabolical, man. Next headline, and borrowing costs have surged and the pound has fallen after a tearful appearance by Chancellor Rachel Reeves in Parliament. Reeves was at Prime Minister's questions on Wednesday following the government's U-turn on plans to cut billions of pounds through welfare reforms. Markets reacted after her emotional state sparked speculation about her position in government. Sterling dropped by 1% against the dollar, ending the pound's strong run against a weaker US currency. And the Chancellor's going nowhere. She has the Prime Minister's backing. This is basically what a government spokesperson said, though Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer himself declined to give a public show of support. Not too good, if you ask me. However, later on Wednesday, he told BBC Radio 4's Political Thinking with Nick Robinson that he worked in lockstep with Reeves and she was doing an excellent job as Chancellor. Next headline, and the High Court has ordered a robust and independent new investigation into how MI5 gave false evidence to multiple courts after rejecting 2 official inquiries provided by the Security Service as seriously deficient. The 2 reviews took place after the BBC revealed MI5 had lied to 3 courts in a case concerning a neo-Nazi state agent who abused women. A panel of 3 senior judges said it would be premature to decide whether to begin contempt of court proceedings against any individuals before the new investigation was complete. They also commended the BBC for bringing these matters to light. The 2 official inquiries, one of which was commissioned by Home Secretary Yvette Cooper, absolved MI5 and its officers of deliberate wrongdoing. But the judgment concludes that investigations carried out by MI5 to date suffer from serious procedural deficiencies and that we cannot rely on their conclusions. Next headline, trigger warning on this one, people. Trigger warning. The Israeli military used a 500-pound bomb, which is a powerful and indiscriminate weapon that generates a massive blast wave and scatters shrapnel over a wide area when it attacked a target in a crowded beachfront cafe in Gaza on Monday. This is based on evidence, guys. It's not conjecture. Evidence that's been seen by The Guardian, right? Experts in international law said that the use of such ammunition, despite the non-presence of many unprotected civilians, including children, women, elderly people, was almost certainly unlawful and may constitute a war crime. I don't know how many war crimes they've done so far. I don't even think this means anything anymore, to be honest with you. Fragments of the weapons from the ruins of Al-Baqqa Cafe, photographed by The Guardian, have been identified by ordnance experts as part of an MK-82 general-purpose 230-kilogram bomb, a US-made staple of many bombing campaigns in recent decades. The large crater left by the explosion was further evidence of the use of a large and powerful bomb, such as the MK-82. This is basically what 2 ordnance experts said. An IDF spokesperson said that the attack on the cafe was under review and that prior to the strike, steps were taken to mitigate the risk of harming civilians using aerial surveillance. It's a joke, man. Next headline, and the BBC's Director General, Tim Davie, has offered to listen to this, guys. The BBC's Director General, or guy at the top, right? Tim Davie has offered to meet Jewish staff to discuss their concerns after telling them he was appalled by deeply offensive comments made during Bob Vylan's performance at Glastonbury Festival. In the first comment from Davie since the BBC said it regretted not pulling the live stream of the punk duo set, he said it must have been challenging the last few days for Jewish colleagues at the corporation. It comes after Bobby Vylan, whose real name is Pascal Robinson Foster, led chants of death to the IDF, referring to the Israel Defense Forces, as you guys know, at Glastonbury on Saturday. The BBC initially placed a warning on screen for viewers, but later said that it regretted not intervening by pulling the live stream completely. Davie was at the festival in the hours after the set and ordered the content not to feature in any further BBC coverage, but technical issues meant that it remained on the iPlayer for several hours. In an email to the BBC's Jewish Staff Network, he said he appreciated how deeply upset and concerned you must feel about the actions of Bob Vylan on Saturday. I'm not even trying to be somehow now, yeah? Is there another staff, is there staff networks for other people's, other ethnicities in places of work and stuff?
Is there what?
Is there a staff network for specific ethnicities? Is there a Bangladeshi staff
community?
Network? Yeah. At work. At work.
Probably, more than likely.
Yeah, they have their little...
Serious?
Yeah.
Everyone has little communities. It's community of everything.
Yeah. What? And they got their own
people.
Serious?
Yeah, of course they would.
And there's a group email that
In
goes...
university, they have it, innit?
Yeah, because it's like
university.
ACSU.
That's where you start learning.
Yeah, that's when you start learning that you can start forming different groups.
Yeah, and you're encouraged to do it.
No, but not uni. I'm talking about workplace.
Yes, they have cycle.
So why
they have
nobody invited me to the
They have
Africans?
cycling ones. They have basketball ones. They have
got all
Bangladeshi
sorts.
ones. They have black ones. They have all sorts.
Why have I not been invited to any
Because you didn't
African...
seek it out.
I have to seek
an
out.
Sometimes
Isolationist.
they leave, if you've got common areas, they might leave a poster if they're recruiting new members. I personally wouldn't join any of that crap. I've never been a society kind of girl.
Okay.
I just think, no, what are we doing here? Even my workplace, when it's Black History Month, and they're trying to do, get out of here, my nonsense, talking about, do I want to be part of, so basically, we have newsletters, right? And they're do I want to be part of the team that's curating a newsletter about Black History Month? I'm so it's Black History Month, and I'm going to be doing the heavy labor to teach people about Black history. If you don't get out of here and give me free annual leave. No. Every single time I decline, they're like, oh, you can like, maybe like nice movies or music. I've never been that kind of person anyway. I don't take conversations like that very seriously. I'm not. No. Why? Okay. That person that read the book why I would no longer be talking to white people about race. That's me.
There you go.
I'm talking to anybody. Bangladeshi or whatever else. Not doing it. But they have groups. Okay. Like any group you can think of.
Yeah.
They probably even have like a you don't like breakfast club. There's human beings make groups for anything. And it just shows you the sense of wanting to belong.
Yeah.
And like the need for relationships.
Yeah.
Human beings have groups for anything. You just have to think about the kind of world days we have. There's a world day for all sorts.
This is true.
I'm sure there's like a no panty day, wear no pant day, or wear a pant day.
Yeah. There's
all sorts. We have sticks and the other one. Crazy days you could come up with.
All right, well, fair enough. I stand corrected.
We come to the Bangladeshi community.
I want to join something because nobody's invited me to.
You're part of the nation though.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's people like this like nation in the workplace.
No.
Anywhere in the workplace.
They wouldn't have that.
You
know what I'm saying?
The people, they don't like to see you guys. They might think you're a terrorist group, to be fair.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if they say, you know what?
Maybe that's why you've never known because the groups the Black ones have to be kept quiet. Lest they think it's a gang.
This is true.
Because where 2 or more Black people are gathered in an office space, all of a sudden, here they go.
Yep.
We're going to the toilet.
You know what I'm saying?
We have a meeting. We're in the same team. We have a meeting. It's crazy though. Racism is really something.
I'm telling you. Well, in this email, right, that was sent to the BBC's Jewish Staff Network, he said that he appreciated how deeply upset and concerned you must feel by the actions of Bob Villain on Saturday. I was and remain appalled by Bob Villain's deeply offensive and totally unacceptable behaviour during his Glastonbury set. It has no place on the BBC. Also, I understand the strength of feeling in relation to the events of this weekend and other concerns from colleagues. Let me be clear. There's absolutely no place for anti-Semitism at the BBC. We are all utterly committed to creating an environment where everyone is supported and can do their very best work.
I thought everybody was on the same page that Israel has been wilding. So we're not.
That's what happens, man.
Because then all the countries stopped, even a lot of them stopped supporting Israel really and truly. But then that just shows you they stopped doing it overtly. Behind the scenes, who knows?
Yeah.
Because this is quite a big and wild reaction. Like, I'm quite shocked. But I think they're more embarrassed though. I think they're embarrassed because they thought that the rioters were the problem. And they're blindsided. And I think they just feel like we gave you Negroes an opportunity.
It says breaking news.
Oh.
You need a moment of silence. Liverpool star Diego Jota dies in car accident, aged 28, 2 weeks after his wedding day. Liverpool forward.
No, not the guy who Saka was at the wedding the other day. Is that him?
I don't know, maybe.
Probably.
Liverpool forward Diego Jota has died following a car crash in Spain at the age of 28. Portuguese media have reported. Jota had reportedly been traveling in a car with his brother Andre, who is also a 26-year-old footballer, when the vehicle went off-road. The incident occurred on the A52 in the province of Zamora. The tragic news comes just 2 weeks after Jota married his long-term girlfriend, Rute Cardoza, in Porto.
So sad.
It's incredibly sad.
That's incredible. That's very, very heartbreaking, actually. R.I.P.
Yeah, man.
Level that to the family. Man. That's a lot to deal with. Did his brother die as well?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Horrible.
That's horrible. Well, R.I.P.
R.I.P., man. All right, guys. Got a few more headlines. Next one is you have a chance to design Britain's new banknote.
Okay, I will. How much are they paying me for it? People love to. Do you know what? People try to get free labor out of people, posing as it's something fun to do. It's a fun task. Get out of here, man. Thieves.
Well, the Bank of England has asked the public for ideas.
I bet you have.
What to feature.
Bet you have. Are you going to write off their debts?
You know what I mean?
When they help you? I bet they wouldn't even give you a free one. They wouldn't even have the cheek to give you the first one they print out. They give it to the flipping King Charles, or what's his name?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Chic.
Exactly.
Oh, Saka was at Odegaard's wedding.
I was Odegaard, my
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Okay.
No, Jota.
But yeah, man, they've asked the public for ideas of what to feature on the next set of notes in a consultation that launches
What's a
today
feature?
and runs until 11:59 on July 31st. So the central bank is asking people to put forward ideas for themes that represent the UK, right? Ranging from celebrated landmarks to abstract concepts, including important discoveries and movements such as the suffragettes that originated in Britain, alongside the historical figures who have typically featured on sterling banknotes. The bank said it would consider suggestions linked to art, culture, food, architecture, landmarks, sport, nature, and technology, basically meaning everything. Everything from British wildlife to iconic TV shows could be in the running. Examples mocked up by the bank feature puffin stags, wind farms, the spinning Jenny, Notting Hill carnival dancers, and the Angel of the North.
And what note is this on?
It's going to be on all of them. I think they want to change it all.
I'm trying to change all of it again.
Yeah, I believe so. And Victoria Cleland, who's the bank's chief cashier, said banknotes are more than just an important means of payment. They serve as a symbolic representation of our collective national identity and the opportunity to celebrate the UK.
No, they don't. All the money's in my Lloyd's account. Well, people don't really use notes that much anymore.
Yeah, it's going there. But would you guys be happy if you saw like a black man on there, a black woman on there, Notting Hill carnival dancers on there? You know
I would be, because black people contributed to the history of this country. And that's why I'm just like, stop asking people silly questions, man. Because all we have to say is Windrush now. You guys start acting confused and say you no longer are taking submissions. So,
but to be fair, there might be like a Windrush something on a £5 note somewhere.
yeah, sure.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if you're listening, guys, put Marcus Garvey on the note. You know what I'm saying?
You're damn well. Damn well.
Next headline, the US has halted weapons shipments to Ukraine because of concerns that America's stockpile is too low. So in a blow to Kiev, the White House said it will put America's interests first following a review of the nation's military support and assistance to other countries across the globe. The spokesperson also said that the strength of the United States armed forces remains unquestioned. Just ask Iran. These guys are insane. The Pentagon review found that stocks were too low on some items previously promised, including air defense missiles to help down the Russian drones, precision artillery, and Hellfire missiles. America has sent more than $66 billion in military aid to Ukraine since Russia began its full-scale invasion in February of 2022. But the move to reduce defense assistance has suggested a shift in Donald Trump's priorities. And our last, but certainly not least, headline: a film festival has brought US, European, and African producers and directors to Jamaica to explore collaborations with local filmmakers who are set to benefit from several million US dollars worth of government investment to boost the domestic industry. Held on the beach in Black River in Jamaica's southwestern parish of St. Elizabeth, the Black River Film Festival over the weekend gave Jamaican actors and filmmakers a rare opportunity to screen their films to experienced movie makers such as Netflix producer and director Samad Davis, the Atlanta-based executive movie producer Dolapo Erin Kitola, and also Cedric Pierre-Louis, who is the programming director of Nollywood TV, Rock, Zaku TV, stuff like that. The festival organizer, Ava Eagle Brown, who's a writer and entrepreneur, said she aimed to leverage Jamaica's strong global brand and the government's commitment to growing the film industry through financing initiatives such as the $1 billion Jamaican dollar Screen Development Initiative, JSDI, to catalyze global collaborations. Yeah, big up all of them, man. That's doing something in Jamaica, man. Let's get more of our beautiful people in the diaspora doing some amazing things. And that's it for the headlines, guys. Time to pay the bills.
Apparently the guy just had a baby. That's sad. GTA, you gotta read the room. You gotta get better at that. You gotta at least try. So about people are gonna sign. Sir, not the time. All right, well, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Let's get into topic of the day.
All right, so topic of the day. As you guys know, pretty much heard, Diddy, Sean Combs has, the trial's over basically, right? The trial is over. There were five federal charges that were brought against Diddy, including racketeering conspiracy under RICO, 2 sex trafficking charges, including or involving force, fraud, or coercion, 2 counts under the Mann Act, transportation for prostitution, right? And for those who don't know, the Mann Act is a 115-year-old law that criminalizes transporting anyone across state lines for illegal sexual activity. Now, obviously, it's a gender-neutral sort of situation, but that's basically...
Man or woman.
Basically.
Or they.
You know, things have changed, you know what I'm saying? But that's basically what the situation is, yeah? And the verdict is simple. Diddy has been found guilty on 2 counts. The Mann Act violations, transporting ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura and a woman named Jane to engage...
Jane Doe.
Jane Doe, yeah.
Yeah, Jane Doe. A woman named Jane.
To engage in illegal sexual activity across state lines. So, obviously, I think we mentioned this on air, innit, that some people were kind of happy about certain things. The reason why they're happy is because Diddy's basically been acquitted of the more serious charges. The reason why Diddy was celebrating too. You know what I'm saying? I believe they even said in court that he turned around to his kids and be like, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. You know what I'm saying? Because the serious charges, the things that could have put him away for life...
Do you know what?
He was acquitted of.
It's a good thing I didn't end up being a lawyer because I was aiming to be a judge. I couldn't see that. To a point, I couldn't see that. You're not going in. But I heard the chat. Basically, they tried to say his lawyers tried to ask for bail, basically.
Yes.
And the prosecution said, nope. They said, oh, no, nope. Let him wait there till sentencing because essentially he is a risk. They don't trust him. They said that even when he had charges and whatnot, when he knew, basically, when he knew that stuff was happening, blah, 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 he was still taking drugs. He was still organizing freak-offs and whatever. So essentially, he can't be trusted and then Cassie's lawyer also wrote to say that she and people who testified will not be safe if he's out on bail. And then his ex-bodyguard was on Piers Morgan's show. He's left the country. He said he knows that he's target number 1. So he said, yep, I've left. And then Piers was like, oh, well, like, what did he ask him? Something about you scared of, he's like, oh, you scared of something? He said, no, I'm not scared. I'm only scared of, what is it, God and his mum. But he said that he knows that he's number 1 on Diddy's list.
Yeah. Because that guy, what's his name? Is it Big Homie?
Yeah, Big Homie, yeah.
Homie CC or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, he's been talking a lot, you know. He's getting a lot
left.
of... he's in London now, isn't it?
Is he?
Yeah, he was saying on the Piers Morgan thingy that he's moved now. His new home's going to be in the UK, in London.
I suppose, I didn't might not be able to fly here for a while.
For sure. Most definitely. But funny enough, yeah, well, not funny. I was listening to, what's his name? Alan Dershowitz. Is it Dershowitz? Yeah. He's a top guy. He's been doing this for many moons. I think he even defended, or was part of the...
So you say he's doing this? I don't know what the man does.
Sorry, he's a lawyer.
Okay.
He's been teaching criminal law for like 60 plus years.
Okay, yeah.
And what do you call it? He was part of the dream team, man, for, what's his name?
OJ,
thank you.
Whenever anyone says dream team, you just think OJ. That's the only person that's ever had a dream team.
There you go.
In history.
And he was basically saying, well, this is literally just before the judge basically said no to the bail decision. Yeah. He basically said, I think based on all of this stuff, that Diddy will basically get bail. And if he does get bail, potentially, not saying it's a definite, but him and his lawyers might try and get this thing overturned. That's what he's saying. But again, that depends on if he was to get bail. And obviously, we now know that he didn't get bail.
But how can you overturn it if you get bail? I
think what he's basically saying is it shows that this wasn't really anything. Because what he was basically saying is this is what the Fed does. The Fed always overreaches. He has helped. So basically, he's a rich guy, obviously, yeah? But he does half his cases pro bono. Because what he's saying is, and I mentioned this as well when we were first talking about this case, that the reason why the Fed has a 90+ conviction rate is because a lot of the time they settle outside of court.
Yeah, and Diddy didn't.
Exactly. So sometimes they'll come up to you and say, yo.
He didn't.
You know what I'm saying? You can get 6 months for this, or take it to court, and you get 16 years. Yeah. So which one do you want to do?
We'll say 6 months.
And that counts as success.
But we never found out what they offered Diddy, did we?
No, we don't know.
There's a lot of dids going around in my sentences. We actually... we never found out.
Nah, I think people are speculating that they probably gave him double digits, innit? You know what I'm saying? So
It would have been. They would have wanted to go for it.
Yeah. So he's like, nah.
And what's he looking at? Like between 4 years and 3 months and 5 years and 3 months, something stupid like that.
Yeah, people are speculating, man. Some people are saying, he might even just go home and just do ankle bracelet situation.
I hope the good
Some people
Lord.
are saying might do another 2 years. Some people say up to 5 years. But there's guidelines in it. All of these charges still could get him like maximum, I think, like 20 years. But there's guidelines. He ain't gonna get no 20 years.
He's not, because he's in like technically a first offender.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So none of that stuff is likely to happen. So yeah, man.
Did you see that those degenerates that was outside the court spraying baby oil in celebration?
That is insane. I saw people holding up, like, I didn't see like actual moving footage. I just saw pictures of people holding up baby oil.
There was a woman, and there's a man that was spraying baby oil on a woman, and she was just shimmying all over the place.
Come on, man.
And I just thought these are the kind of people that make white people not regret racism. Might be on the side with that one.
Terrible.
It's a damn mess, quite honestly. And then his kids were obviously celebrating. Mm-hmm. It's interesting though, when he got on his knees and was praying. I'm like, who are you praying to?
But you know the thing is, yeah. Do you think he feels sorry? Because
no, I think he's incapable of feeling sorry.
Why?
This man pleaded not guilty.
Yeah,
That's someone that's sorry. Because you've got to understand that you hurt people. Like if you plead guilty to something that you've been charged with, you're going to, if you're found guilty, they take into consideration that you took accountability for your actions.
Yeah.
Like, he's not sorry.
Yeah, but that's because some of the charges he evidently didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why he's not going to go.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Because also as well, he's just not sorry. I think he's incapable of being sorry. I think he's incapable of feeling sorry. His family, his kids, at this point, they all deserve whatever happens to them. Because one of his sons, I think it was last week, came into the court and he had a free Diddy t-shirt. He said, go and take that shit off. Go and take it off. And then, so basically, he had like a mesh top on, and then under it was a t-shirt that said free Diddy. And he was pulled out of court, like, don't be silly. And so he had to turn it inside out and then came back. So I don't think he feels sorry. I think he feels like, oh, I knew I was going to get away with this kind of thing. I don't know that he thought he was going to get away with it. I wouldn't go that far. But I feel like he feels justified and he's going to come out and act as if nothing's happened. And that's what makes me sick, because the way people are reacting already lets me know that he's just going to go back into the industry as if nothing happened.
Do you feel, okay, all right, put it this way. Everyone who is upset, everyone who feels as though he should have been convicted, he should get more years and all that sort of stuff, yeah. Why do you think that is?
I want locked up for the evil that he's done. I think the evil that he's done in this world is enough.
Okay, cool. Does that primarily stem from the Cassie video?
I think everything. I don't believe Cassie is his only victim.
Okay.
And I do believe that he's abused his power over the years since he's been in the industry. Okay. I don't believe that he's a clean man. I just cannot believe it. I just, like, it's one thing if people's realization of his madness only came when he went to court. But for years, someone tweeted, they just know R. Kelly can't believe this shit. But for years, as in decades, there has been conversations about what he's done. Like, the conversations were not just tied within the industry. It was so much that it spilled out where the average person walking on the street is likely to tell you the crazy things they've heard about Diddy. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I don't believe he's a clean guy. I don't believe he's just some random guy who did absolutely nothing. And he's not Michael Scofield. Or what was his brother's name? Starts with L. Lincoln. From Prison Break.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? It's not a random. It's not like a random. He's been accused of. Do you know what I mean? It's not just a targeted thing. There's smoke there. There's definitely smoke there, and I think that sometimes the way life works is that you might commit a murder or two, and you're not caught for that.
Yeah. But
then you might just shoplift some milk quickly, and that's what you get caught for.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So, but then I just don't think that because they didn't catch him for the thing that he's done, the things that he's then done, we should be like, because you know people are like, oh, it's not, that's the case is not about Cassie. It's not about him beating up Cassie. I'm sorry, but wrap it up, karma, whatever it is you could get him, just get him out of here.
But then one could say karma.
No, I don't want to hear it about the whole justice system. Don't care.
What justice?
And people are like, oh yeah, but that's not how the justice system works.
No, I'm just gonna say, but then one could argue karma didn't do its what? Karma didn't do its job then.
I don't even believe in karma anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
The evil live long. The evil live very, very long. Some of the richest people are absolute thieves.
Facts.
Absolute thieves. People that commit white collar crimes go to prison where they get to play golf. So, you know what I mean? I don't believe in karma. I do believe in God's justice. And that one he can't escape. But
unless he repents, right?
Yeah. Imagine what? Imagine Diddy having the same mansion size next to Apostle Paul.
Talk to us, Brent.
These rewards that you keep talking about, right?
I didn't talk about it.
Where?
I didn't talk about it.
Where
I was
does it
basic.
say it's mansions?
You don't know about mansions. I was only joking about the mansions thing because you kept saying.
The rewards had nothing to do with
Remember I told you that forget mansions. Like mansions is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about rewards. I don't know. And you asked me what the rewards are. I said I don't know what the rewards are. I'm not in heaven yet. So I just said mansions because that's what you keep saying.
I know the Bible talks about the rewards. That's what the rewards are.
Okay, fair. What are they?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Emmanuel, please. One.
Not milk and honey. I'm lactose intolerant.
No. A crown.
Okay.
Yeah, you can get a crown.
You have to give me more context than you can get a crown.
No, you can get a crown.
I can get a crown right now from Card Factory.
I think it was symbolic.
The crown of glory.
No. I think it's symbolic. I don't think you actually get
like a physical.
But let's
crown.
just say you did. I want a crown.
I don't want a crown.
And I want a nice
Depends what
bright
hairstyle
crown.
I have in heaven.
Would you change up or would it be?
Wait.
Oh, I'm definitely changing.
Please, always be a fashion.
Wait. That's not a question.
I can say, oh my gosh,
That's
I
not a
want braids.
question. That's not a question. Would you wear wigs in heaven?
I wouldn't need to.
Because that's preventing
I wouldn't need to.
God's glory reaching your scalp.
God's glory is in here. It's in her. I wouldn't need to wear wigs. Because I could just say, this is it. I want braids.
Because you won't have insecurities.
It's done. In my mind, my imagination, these are part of the benefits of the new earth.
Not wearing wigs.
Not heaven. No, because I don't care about wigs. It's like I don't get to suffer things. Like I don't have to sit down for hours, do my hair and stuff.
Empathy.
I can just be like, whoo. F what?
Empathy.
What oh, no, not empathy. I don't know where you went with that. I was like, I do wigs.
You don't have to suffer things. Like, half the time you suffer things.
Oh,
because
yeah, fair.
You know, juiced
But I
up
don't
in
have to,
empathy.
yeah. It might,
Die that dung, baby.
don't feel like being sad today. Next.
All right, so there's crown. I think there is a closeness to God.
Yeah, that has to be.
We have that now, though, don't we?
No, but that's some of the rewards. That's what
But we
is
have-
mentioned.
Isn't that we have that now?
But I'm just
Are you
telling
talking
you.
about rewards after you die, rewards of salvation, because we have that intimacy with God now, which is
I'm
why
just
Jesus came.
telling you, when the Bible talks about rewards,
This is
these
what
are
he's
the
talking about.
things that are mentioned.
I've already got 2 of those. Next.
All right. You get responsibilities
Like what?
Got that now.
like
Like a mission.
like you get
Purpose.
to steward or govern something, and it could be you look after the
Garden.
the Jesus rave.
Did you what? Rave.
Yeah.
Rave.
The functions. Obviously, it's dancing. It's gonna be dancing, singing in heaven. 100%. There's gonna be music.
What sort of music do you think it would be?
Like lives and
Probably
harps and
soca.
stuff.
What?
The Bible talks about the
No. There needs to be lively
harps.
stuff. There needs to be lively stuff.
So I think the moment when black people start entering heaven,
Turn up.
Yeah,
they switched it up.
That's an entering. They were there from the beginning.
You know what I'm saying?
And
As far as I'm concerned, they're the only ones there.
You copied.
you know the people that are out here talking about Christian drill. I hope I ain't none of that mess. That's hell.
You never know.
That would be hell for me. I hope there's no Christian drill up above.
Man.
Anyway,
And essentially that's it.
good luck to Diddy, man. If he makes it cool, I hope I don't see you. I hope it doesn't end up being we don't end up being on the same street.
You know what? You'd probably be like, oh, welcome.
I probably wouldn't.
Because that's
you won't know.
Actually, I wouldn't know. That's true.
That's all sinful humanity talking.
That's
right?
yes, absolutely.
Because God's grace is
it's more than we can ever imagine. Absolutely.
This is why it's not our responsibility.
Sure.
To dish out grace because
I wouldn't.
did it? No,
I wouldn't. No. Did
I don't care what you're saying. I don't care how you feel.
The Combs family.
I don't care about repentance. No, you're not saying it.
Thank God, man will be God.
And the thing is, how I see that it's if he can't, then I should be not allowed in heaven also.
If what? If Diddy can't, you
If
shouldn't be allowed.
he can't,
That's good for you, not
I
me.
should also not be allowed in heaven.
Well done. I don't know what you're trying to prove with that thing. You think you can? You think you can trick yourself to get more rewards? Like, oh, look at him, so full of grace. Oh, piss off.
But I just told you what the rewards are. You said you have all the rewards right now. So I mean, what's the benefit?
Why do you know like when it's like you're trying to move holier than thou? Like, oh Lord, here's why I deserve to be in heaven because I'm just so kind.
I don't know if
that,
God likes goody two
that
shoes.
even this sicko, even this sick man here on earth, I'm willing to show him mercy. Well, call me a Pharisee then. I don't want that.
He said it's above me. It's above me.
Yeah, listen. I hope he gets saved, but I just think. Anyway.
I pray everybody gets saved.
I pray so. I pray his victims get saved as well.
You shouldn't serve time.
And I think that's the thing, because even with God, that there's consequences. And that's where the rewards thing, that's even part of my rewards mentality thing. Because there's consequences with God. Like God forgives us and everything, but sometimes we have to suffer the repercussions of our actions. But let's not even talk about Diddy getting to heaven and whatnot.
She say, I want to be in the spirit.
I think it's insensitive to his victims. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's insensitive to victims of abuse and stuff like that. Like, talking about, you know, when they repent one day and then all the atrocities that they've committed that you have to live with will be forgotten. Sorry. All the best to everybody that's involved, according to Christ, which is in glory. But
what I was going to say to you, if we're being strict, because let's just be strict. Personal feelings aside, do you feel as though the jury did a good job?
No. I looked at the age range of them. Okay. I looked at the age range and I said, it makes sense. Fair.
What's the age range?
The jury did a good job. You mean the prosecution?
No, the jury, the people.
Yeah. The information they was fed.
Well, we don't know the information they were fed.
No, based on
off like the reports we saw and stuff like that, and like the conversations I had.
Yeah, and what they actually gave us, like in terms of the convictions and guilty and whatnot. Do you feel like based on what that they did a good job?
I believe so. I believe that you have a certain responsibility, and I know that there will be people with biases in there who would already be going in there thinking.
Did you see the age ranges?
I don't care what they tell me about Diddy. I'm telling them he's guilty. Right? And as soon as I now hear the rubbing of the semen on the nipples, even more guilty.
Do you know what, man? Because the age range of the people in there, I don't think so though. Nah, the age range of the people in there, I don't think so. But the age range are the older generation. Because I can see, when I found out the kind of people that within the jury,
it makes sense.
I was like, it makes sense because they're not going to see it. They're going to think, their mindset is that he's a rich man and women were sleeping with him for money. And so these women were not victims. They benefited off his wealth and whatever the case is. I'm sure they did a good job because obviously they had to take time away from their lives and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure they did. Yeah. I don't know if I can't say they did a good job. I don't know what else they were fed and stuff like that. And I know that the judge had to turn them off a few times. So I don't know how good a job they were doing. But I think they did the best that they could, because when you think about what a jury is made up of, it's not made of qualified lawyers. Yeah. It's random people. So I think that is a very hard task to do, because I think it's a lot. And I think for that, well done to them, because they have to listen to all the testimonies regardless of how horrible it is. There's no trigger warning for them. They've, in their personal lives, they would have gone through things or whatever the case is. And then also they have to, I think deciding whether someone should go to jail for the rest of their life or not is hard. And that's hard. Those are going to be hard decisions that they're going to have to live with for the rest of their life. So all the best to them.
Quick whip round, right? If we represented the jury, our votes counted for each.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Where would you have gone with this verdict, Esther? On all counts, where would you have gone with it?
What were the counts again? So we had...
Okay, so racketeering conspiracy.
What does racketeering mean though?
Criminal enterprise.
Guilty.
Wait.
Next one.
Wait. I want you to know what it is properly.
I'm saying but it's proved my point. She doesn't. She just said, "What does racketeering mean?"
No, but you said
Criminal
enterprise.
guilty.
You said organization. I've got enough information. You said he was leading
You're
enterprise.
right, but I'm just trying to showcase the bias. But go on,
No, but it's
go
not
on.
bias. Okay, tell
you
me.
can't have bias.
Tell me more that'll make you say not guilty.
Okay. Like he organized.
Okay, there must be evangelizing within racketeering. Go and tell me why this man was not leading an organization that was doing what it was doing.
For the purposes of this sort of thing. So this is what it was for. It was the concocted organization. He's the man on the top. He's got people handlers. I shouldn't have said the word handlers. He's got people in place for particular. Like it was working like clockwork for the purposes of this. This being the sex and the freak offs and all that.
But when you say for the purposes of this, so you mean that music can't come into that?
Probably not. Maybe. Yeah. It's for this purpose. It's because remember the whole RICO thing. Yeah, is for was for like mafia people.
Wait, so do you guys? So I'm gonna assume that you guys say you're not guilty for that.
Yeah, I would say no.
Brent?
What? But yeah, I believe that he is the conductor of all of it, right? But
Yes.
I'm not sure if the evidence presented showed that.
No. So we are the jury, right?
I know.
But then we don't know what evidence was shown to the jury.
And this is what...
So we have to go off what it is that we know.
coming in,
and the testimonies
this is what
that
I'm
we've
saying.
heard. So-
Coming into it, I know that he controlled everything. And if it is that
Okay.
he didn't, he put people in place like his PA.
The PA and stuff, yeah.
He gave it all the power. Make sure this is it. So I would say yes, but it's about the evidence presented.
Yeah, but the thing is though, if we're gonna pretend to be the jury,
Yes.
we don't have
I
the
have to put my
evidence
bias
actually
as well,
prevent.
right? So I'll say guilty.
So why do you?
No, but
Why do you laugh at me like that?
No, I'm laughing because I'm waiting.
How can you laugh at me like that and you're on the same
just have
side
to
as
wait.
me?
You just have to wait to come here, right? Because I was whipping around the room. So I'm saying some certain jurors, and you said based on the juror selection, you knew. All right, this made sense. But I'm telling you, no. Certain people going in, they already knew about Diddy, right?
Yeah.
And bear in mind, both prosecution and defense need to agree on the jurors. Do you understand? And I'm sure some got removed based on certain questions
they
that
did,
were asked
yeah.
beforehand. And then when he sat here and mentioning Diddy's name, their faces screw up. The defense said, no, out. So 100%, there would be biases going into it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if it was just based on, all right, cool, I know my thing is important, but I would also have to explain in our close quarters when we're discussing why it is I believe such and such.
Yeah.
And I believe I'm the person who's going to be leading that procession, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be answering to no fake leader. No. I'm going to be the one saying
Yeah.
this. And I have to say, based on the evidence provided, and I will say also, I'll preface it by saying, look, I know full well Diddy he ran everything,
Yeah.
100%. But they didn't prove it. Do you understand?
And this is what I was
But
saying.
that's the thing though. When
about
we say
the-
they didn't prove it though, we don't know what they gave the people because having the PA there, they had ex-employees, they had so many witnesses, they had ex-employees who talked about the way the things ran. Like to the point where even even like was a sex worker, wasn't it? That said like the way that they would be contacted about it, then he will meet here with like, and that's just all I know based off things that I've read.
But bear in mind, that's all to do with the freak off party.
Okay.
Do you understand? Make sure it's a good time, right?
Yeah.
Bring the drugs in for the party.
But isn't this all to do with that though?
Yes and no. I mean,
Because if you're using guns
is the freak off a crime? I don't think the freak off is a crime. It's
And
now
also-
the...
Wait, go on.
I was just gonna say also it's non-consensual.
That's the one.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So racketeering involves non-consensual.
Let me read this to you, right? So basically, prosecutors accuse Combs of running a criminal enterprise, right? Using the celebrity network to orchestrate non-consensual sex events, coercion, drug use, threats, and violence across all that sort of stuff for decades, right? So this is basically what they're saying. This is the purpose of this. He ran this underground network crazy, using threats to make sure people continued in the freak offs, getting them into the freak offs, drug people, coerce people. It was non-consent. People who didn't want to be there were there. This is what all of this was for. I don't think.
But people
I don't
didn't want to
think they
be
did
there
it.
though. Jane Doe, Cassie didn't want to be there. Like, what are we talking about?
I think there
And
were
didn't some of the sex
times-
worker even say that it was like People didn't want. Not everyone wanted to be there though.
But I think there were times.
Because even some of the workers didn't even feel like they could quit.
Because the money was good.
No, because they were under threat.
Someone could say that.
Someone could say anything.
This is why I'm
but
saying
it's about
that
what the reality
particular room,
is.
That room would have had different arguments made.
Oh, absolutely.
The juror room, right?
I think they even deliberated and came up to the conclusions very quickly. Because apparently they were going to need more time, but they didn't. His team didn't want. So basically, the courts is closed today and Friday, right? But then his team didn't want them to tell the jurors that, because they didn't want them to rush to a decision. So the judge said he was either going to make them come back on Thursday or just figure something out for them to come back on Thursday to keep deliberating, or come back on Monday, right? I think they came to a conclusion very quickly. And I think that even his defense saying that, his defense team not wanting the judge to tell them that, okay, if you don't finish today, we can continue on Monday, whatever, is because a part of them felt like, they could find him guilty. So if they were so confident in that they didn't show enough for these charges, then they wouldn't have minded, because it's like, oh, well, we know what result we're going to get. I think for the racketeering, it was enough to show that it was an enterprise. It was enough to show that the transportation and whatever else he's using are for these purposes. What other witnesses would you need for that? If you've got ex-employees talking about the system and the way things work, and this is his right-hand person, and this person's aware of this, and this person's aware of that, come on now. But anyway, so he would have got 2 out of 3 guilties on that one, on racketeering.
Who? From who?
Me and you said you would have gone guilty.
No.
Oh, you're a phony.
No. Look, I said that the evidence wouldn't have suggested it. So it would be a no.
Am I going crazy? You definitely said...
I did. If I came in with my bias and whatnot. In my head, I'd
but that's yes. The thing though. What bias though? How is the information that you know bias?
Because I believe that Diddy controlled all of them.
Yeah, so that's not bias if that's what you think. How is that bias?
It's bias if the evidence didn't show it. I'm using outside information as opposed to what's been presented in court.
Yes, but I thought we were acting as jurors based off the information, set outside information, because we don't have the inside information. Do we have the inside? Do you have the inside information?
Based on what was received, yeah. But wait, stop. Let me start again.
Please.
So if you're saying that you thought my question was, even before going into the bloody courtroom, right? Just using your...
No, I'm using the court script as well. I'm using the witnesses' statements.
We are talking about what we're getting from the...
Yes.
All right, cool. So it's not just outside...
It's the testimonies of the witnesses I'm going off as well.
All right, okay. I am...
Because that's part of it, no? And the cross-examination, all that stuff.
I believe that they didn't present enough, right?
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm like... Because in the jury room, I'll be like... Everybody knows here that this guy did it.
So what more information would you have needed?
Control of this, but they didn't present it.
What more would you have needed, do you reckon? What more do you think, actually, even the jury, what more do you think they would have needed for it to be a guilty?
I think that the evidence that showed, I think the Jane Doe, the other one, kind of going back to him afterwards, talking about how they missed this, that, and next, blah, 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 blah. It threw too much... Wait. She really wanted to be involved in that class.
But then that's the thing,
she was really, like, engulfed with the whole lifestyle and the finances and this, that, and that.
But that's what I find interesting, though, because they then had a psychologist explain why victims do this.
Yes, but you do realize that there's another psychologist that will basically make a counter to that particular supposition, that thought process, right? It's not just every single case is like this because the psychologist has said this is it.
Yeah.
There are counter arguments to everything.
But in fact, that's why I said that as well. The age group of the jurors plays a part, because they're of the generation that believe that if you stop annoying your husband, he'll stop beating you.
Let me ask a question. As we're in the room here, we're pronged, right?
They should have had young people in there.
Are there people who get coerced, who get groomed, and it's difficult for them to basically leave a financially profitable situation whilst abuse is going on? Yeah. Yes?
Yeah, but I don't think it's just the finances there.
Okay, other things also, but I just mentioned finances.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. Do you believe, Emmanuel, that there are people who they don't need coercion to remain in an unhealthy relationship because of the benefit they get from that particular relationship.
Young Miami, yes.
100 trillion%.
All right. So can that same person come after the fact and make a claim that they were groomed? Because that's what their lawyer would do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So if this exists, then a counter-claim or counter-argument can be made.
But you know that just because, so if someone does, if, for example, they believe that they were staying there, or they were staying there for the money or whatever it is, that doesn't mean it wasn't abuse.
I didn't say
just because so someone can be in an abusive relationship, find a glass half full way to look at this abusive relationship. That doesn't take away from the fact that it was still abuse.
I didn't say that.
And it was still coercion, right?
say that.
I'm not saying you're saying that, but this is the way I kind of think, where just because someone was then there benefiting money or whatever it was, private jets, whatever the case was, that doesn't change what factually the act is, though.
What I'm showing you is that, that's cool, respond just now. What I'm showing you is that you can sit with that position.
Yeah.
With the evidence or the arguments that are posed to you.
Yeah.
And somebody sat next to you, the rest of the 12, could have a different...
Yeah. And I think that's the sad thing about stuff like this. So sometimes I'm for juries and stuff sometimes, but obviously I just don't know how smart it is, because even when I have conversations with an average, like just someone I see on the streets, I realize how different our ways of thinking are, that I don't know how smart it is really in cases like this for that to be the way we judge these things.
You suggesting that you should do away with the 12 and just appoint you as the judge and you be the one who...
I don't want to be the judge in this
who would
sodomy.
be the judge? Because if you're removing
I think people that
the panel, right?
People that have studied, like, or maybe have a panel of lawyers or something, because
Lawyers who believe one particular thing and not the other?
Not necessarily, though. I just think that with stuff like this, right? Because with lawyers, right, whatever they personally believe in their life, whatever, they have clients, and so some of them they don't believe in murder as a person, as an individual. They believe people that commit murders are are monsters or whatever the case is. But when they have to defend a monster, a murderer, they are there defending like their life depends on it. And so, but the issue with having like just lay people doing it is that in that same room, you would have people who have the mindset that, when you, like, domestic violence, for example, or trigger warning, sorry, but Diddy is a trigger warning at this point, is that people that suffer rape is because they're dressed a certain way. Because that's so harmful. That is so harmful.
And that's what you're kind of supposed to weed out in the selection process.
You're supposed to, but I don't know how possible
100%
it is.
you can't always. But you're still supposed to be judged, this is the thing, judged by a section of your peers.
Absolutely, but then when you look at the age group of the people that are there,
Let me,
I should have saved it. I should have actually saved it. I don't think I did.
Let me chat GPT it.
When you look at the age group of the people that are there, there's just a certain mindset that they tend to have. And I think that's just quite dangerous, man. But anyway, we've only done the R. I. What's the I in Enrico?
You were going for R-I. What? What?
I can't remember what the acronym is.
We're the racketeering. So next, mind you, there's a trafficking in there. I don't know where the T comes in, but fair enough.
Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act.
Oh,
That's
silly.
what it is.
Okay, what's that?
It was all for the mafia.
Trafficking.
This is what I'm saying. The guy didn't run the organization like the mafia. No chance.
Do you know what I think as well, though? I think they should have given him more time. I think if they gave him more time, because you know what? He was at the peak of his foolishness as well. Do you know what I mean? He was really at the peak. Like, he had managed to be doing this whole brother love thing and blah, 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 blah. And I think they should have given him more time to gather more evidence against him.
I don't know if this is
accurate,
but let me read it though.
Go on.
But I don't know.
This is the witnesses.
Yeah.
So,
12 members.
Yes.
8 men, 4 women.
Yeah.
All selected from within the Southern District of New York. Age range from 30 to 74.
Yeah.
Right, so that's an average age of 52. Right, there's only 3 jurors under 40. Right, 5 jurors over 60.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, right, cool. The part I'm not too sure about is this part, where it tells us about the professional and educational backgrounds.
It's where it tells like they got one wife and they got a fiance and they got all that stuff.
More so their occupations and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
So one's a scientist, right? 51-year-old, he's got a PhD in biology, right? Holds a PhD in molecular biology, neuroscience, all that sort of stuff. There's a physician assistant, so a college-educated healthcare professional. There's a deli clerk, so, it represents a younger demographic. This is the 30-year-old, right? With minimal education, it says here. There's a nursing home worker, 42 years old.
I heard that one.
Working class caregiver. There's a former charity coordinator. This is the older retired person who's 74. They got significant life experience and all that sort of stuff. There's another person who's retired, and they were in the financial sector.
Yeah.
There was a bank logistics analysis person. There was also a massage therapist, slash actor, 69 years old, right? So. Yeah, very
diverse
thingy, yeah. And all of them got different musical tastes. Apparently, more jurors reported liking classical music than hip hop.
Yeah.
News habits range from mainstream outlets, so New York Times, CNN and stuff, to the local word of mouth and mobile alerts. And residents included 5 from Manhattan, 3 from the Bronx, and 4 from Westchester County. So this is basically what it's saying here, man. This is basically the split. So the average age of 52, but it does range from 30 to 74. Interesting. But yeah, that was the first one is the RICO one, yeah?
Yeah.
The second count was for sex trafficking of Cassie, right? So Combs allegedly forced...
Let me not respond too quickly because you guys thought I was biased last time. What does that mean?
Combs allegedly forced Cassie Ventura into repeated sexual encounters, referred to the freak-offs, right? By means of force, fraud or coercion, including threats and physical assault and all that sort of stuff. I think that's also meant to include across state lines as well, if I'm not mistaken. Hence the trafficking part of it. So that's the second one, right? And obviously he was acquitted of that. So the jury concluded that the prosecution didn't prove coercion beyond a reasonable doubt. I think that's what we also have to remember, reasonable doubt. Because I think what
Speak
trips...
for yourself, I'm reasonably undoubted.
The reason I'm saying that is because, if I'm not mistaken, there were times when... Again, I could be wrong here, so please correct me if I'm wrong. What I heard was that there were times when Cassie herself...
Was the one getting the people or something like that?
Not only that, but also arranged it and be like, yo, Diddy...
Like, I want a freak off,
Yeah, come down. I've already got one sorted for us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think when you've got that sort of situation there, sometimes just one or two of those is enough to make somebody say, wait a minute, wait a goddamn minute. Yes, this horrible guy there started it, right? But all the time... Is it him? Is it really sex trafficking? Chronic sex... Obviously, I'm adding the chronic there.
Yeah, you're doing too much. Your voice was going up and everything.
I'm just trying to see how the jury might have seen this. You know what I'm saying? Given you've got another side saying, yo, this isn't coercion, when this woman's the one texting him, telling him, I've sorted this out already. Come down.
Yeah, that,
you know what I'm saying?
That lay of the land is very different to Igor and Vladimir and them, man.
Yes.
Very different.
Good point there, Brent.
Yeah, in those not trailers, but those.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, and they create holes in the corner. I've seen The Wire.
And what's it called? Taken.
yeah. It's very different.
Yeah.
That's what people have in their head also when they're hearing these things. But when you're now presented with audio, text, and whatnot, and I don't know the timeline of when it looked like she was interested in this kind of stuff because but I know like people who what is it called when it is that you're married and you sleep with other families, other
swingers.
Yeah.
I know some, and they're so interesting, like so interested.
There you go.
And the kind of stuff they get into, like they have to raise the bar because after you finish experiencing something, right? It doesn't hit the same way the next time. Yeah. So you go for something else.
Yeah.
I don't know how it is you reach to the whole the semen on the nipples. I don't know what you can get through nipple semen play. I don't know. I don't want to find out, right?
Go for it.
That's why I asked you in the first place in the beginning of the show. There's a callback to this as well. I was saying, you were saying, no, that's not how it is. I was like, what, you have experience?
No.
And you kept shaking your head. He said, what? Wait.
I was still in the realm of...
Yeah. You imagine it. I know. You were there.
God forbid, that's tough for a lot. Never ever. Take me first. God.
take a shot.
Why did it take me first?
Yes. Oh, yeah, I'll be out of here.
Oh my gosh! All right.
Let's get back.
So it's really not like that, right? And like I said, I don't know the timeline. It could have been before she started getting kick up and everything, right? She was there thinking, if it is that, I'm not going on as Ali. I don't like this man. I ain't gonna give no man even justifications for his nonsense. So I'm gonna stop right there. All right, continue.
All right, so the next one is the Mann Act violation. So this is the one he was guilty of, right? So this prosecutors charged that Combs transported Ventura Cassie across state lines for prostitution, violating the Mann Act, which is a federal statute prohibiting interstate transport for illicit sexual activity.
But then why would he have got guilty for this if, based on the previous thing, essentially she consented? So wouldn't it just be a couple just going on a vacation?
I think the sex trafficking thing involves more the force, the fraud, the coercion part. The other part, you're just not allowed to do that. Like, you're just not allowed to be going across a state line
And having sex.
to have illegal or illicit sexual activity. And when you've got the prostitution element where you're paying sex workers and all that stuff,
So then
that's already there.
free cuffs are illegal then?
I think it's certain elements of it, yeah. I don't think it's
Yeah,
entirely.
the prostitution part of it, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be
Yeah, you can't be
paying
paying,
prostitutes,
doing
people
all that
to have
sort
sex
of
and stuff.
stuff. Yeah.
That's illegal.
But then that's interesting to me because then wasn't there a whole thing about one of the guys then saying he didn't get paid all
That's
the time?
like working illegality though,
He didn't get paid.
because it's replete in America.
But then didn't they say, one of the sex workers said that he didn't always get paid?
That was the guy that...
Or they got, or maybe his team are the ones who
He had
argued
a
that.
gladiator name, didn't he?
Do you know what?
He had a gladiator type name.
I think I know
remember his
him,
name.
yeah. I can't remember now.
I'll find it.
But do you get what I mean?
Yeah. But is that the guy that said he didn't get paid because he was now familiar with them?
Yeah.
I think he said he fell in love with Cassie. or
Yeah,
something
like he
like
was...
Yeah,
he was-
exactly.
Yeah.
So
that. And he felt weird receiving money or something.
if for the previous one, the couple times that she initiated it was enough to be like, oh yeah, not guilty. So for this then,
I think it was...
Punisher.
That's his name.
Thank you, God Crew. Of course you remember. He said Punisher. Lol.
this is so interesting. This is very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a guy that said he would do it. He would have done it for free because Cassie was so beautiful.
Mm.
So I believe that he could have started. Again, I'm not going on this alleyway. Continue.
Okay. Next one is sex trafficking for Jane Doe, yeah? So similar to the count 2 of the whole Cassie one, involving a second accuser. So this is the whole force, fraud, coercion, and all that sort of stuff. So if Cassie ain't getting that, Jane Doe ain't getting that. But to be honest with you, I don't think I know anything about the case from Jane Doe's time. Like, I kind of tuned out.
Basically just said
so I don't
it's like Cassie. She said that when she read Cassie's story, it basically was like, oh my gosh, this is my story.
know. Okay, cool.
So basically similar thing.
Can I ask another question? Obviously, no disrespect to 50, big up 50. You know his baby mums, yeah?
Yeah.
She isn't, is she the Jane Doe?
I think there's speculation
One
that
of?
she is. Yeah.
We say?
One of?
As one of his baby mums.
One of the Jane Does. I think one pulled out. But there was one that was, her face was blurred out and everybody was there saying that could be her. But yeah, I believe so. And that's why I think 50 is so vexed with Diddy.
Yeah.
Because like, he proper...
But this was before though. He was already a known
Dirty
Diddy
dog.
even when Diddy was with Cassie because he saw remember he said he saw a free cup and he's thinking, why would you treat your girl like that? And then he told him in secret as if it was something that, but he was like, he was so calm about it, like, oh really? Oh, da, 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 da. And he was like, yeah, you're a sicko. And then I guess then he went and was with his baby mother. But I don't respect that anyway because you don't own the woman. Like, women can be wherever they want to be. And 50's a loser anyway, so it works out all the way.
So he was acquitted of that one, right? So the jury basically found insufficient evidence to support the forced trafficking claim, right?
Of Jane Doe, yeah.
Of Jane Doe. And the last one was the Mann Act again of Jane Doe. So in the same way, they found guilty of that for Cassie. Obviously, they were Jane Doe, transporting Jane and others across state lines to engage in paid sexual activity, which we know happened. You know what I'm saying? So that was clear. So he was guilty of the Mann Act on 2 counts, man. And the penalty risk is obviously up to 10 years in prison. But yeah, we know he's not going to get no 10 years.
Bathroom Diaries said, you're not doing the research. Yes, she is. Yeah, she was 50's Baby mum. That's what we
Yeah,
said.
okay, yeah.
I said there was another one that pulled out.
Yeah, that they couldn't find, innit? That's the one. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, because there was another Jane. There's a Jane Doe as well that got like a civil lawsuit.
There's more coming, you know.
Of course, there will be more coming.
Brother, they're lining up more.
Of course, there would be. I feel like, and that's why it's a shame, because I think civil lawsuits wise, it was a good run. As in, like, people were winning their cases. People are going to win their cases. But I think that with the criminal side of things, I don't think it was a time. Because I just assumed that they had way more and were so sure they were going to get like something like this. Yeah, you can't be relying on the person potentially taking a deal. Do you get what I mean? Like, you've got to have it so stuck that when it comes to it, and then they're officially charged and they get guilty or whatever, they would wish they took the deal. Do you get what I mean? So I think the prosecution kind of dropped the ball a bit, because I also don't know now. Depending on the sentencing, if this is something that can ever go to trial again. It will depend on what the judge says. But I just think that for all the evil that he's done, getting the least is a waste of time, is a waste of tax. Sorry, Americans. Waste of you guys' money. Waste of tax money, waste of everything. I think they should have really made sure that they could nail him.
Yeah. And imagine, they had already removed charges as well, innit? Remember? So,
to be fair, though, I thought that was a bad sign, because they did that last week. When they started to remove charges, I said, "Yeah, y'all are done. You're done. You had one job. Everyone's rooting for you, and here you are. You're done."
yeah, that's the situation, man. That's the situation. So, obviously,
I do want him to go to jail, though. And then whatever is going to happen naturally can happen while he's in jail.
do you feel as though, it might be a bit of a silly question, the power and influence of Diddy made this happen?
I think so, because I don't understand how we've been hearing about Diddy all these years, and
this is it.
and it took this long, but then also it took this long, and then this is the outcome. Like, this is it.
If you all track back to beginning, where his house was raided and a whole set of tapes from cameras were confiscated.
Yeah.
Remember, we didn't hear about none
of that.
And I do believe there are people who were on the tapes that on Diddy not being slapped with all of that stuff, they are now, all right, they could breathe now because they ain't going to be singing. And
that's why they're all in the comments now talking about, he wasn't guilty of anything, all he's guilty of is freaky sex and da-da-da-da. Yeah, because you're on the sex tapes. That's why. You're on there. I don't know if we're ever going to get another time where something like this happens. Do you get what I mean? And I was saying that even when it was R. Kelly, right? R. Kelly's one was even Bill Cosby's. But R. Kelly's one, there was documentaries already out. Like, there was just enough concrete evidence that it couldn't be denied. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I don't know how a man who can't read and write got for a RICO, but yet Diddy, who claims to be so smart and intelligent, didn't. R. Kelly can't read and write, and he got for RICO.
He didn't have the best lawyers, man.
He can't read and write.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's defense number one. How am I gonna organize a whole organization when I can't even spell organization?
That don't mean nothing.
Clearly.
That don't mean nothing.
Clearly not.
I could point you to so many gang members.
No, I don't think you should do that. I don't think you should do that. Keep that to yourself.
Oh man, yes.
I think it's a shame, man. We did all of
says
this
that
and here we
he's
are.
up. His sentence could be 20 years without bail. It could be
I don't think it will
could
be there.
10, it could be 5, it could be 3.
Because from when they had a cheat to ask for bail between sentencing. And where's the sentencing anyway? Let me even check.
But what they are saying is, obviously, I think the defense did a good job to really remind people of what the crimes are. But that also backfired with the bail. Because obviously they kept trying to reiterate that, listen, he's an abuser, he's bad, he's violent at times, yeah, 100%, but he's not this. And so the judge is like, wait a minute, cool. If he's this, I don't want him out there because this violent man can't be out there. You know what I'm saying? So They got him off the free
Okay.
charges, but he has to stay.
Yeah,
You know
man.
what I mean?
His sentencing is 3rd of October.
Yeah, and they were like, no, that's too long. That's too long.
No, it's not.
But, we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting
That's
to...
mad, you know. All of that. And he might actually just get the max he possibly gets 5 years. All of that and 5 years.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man.
That's quite sad.
All right.
Okay, we got some massive
We'll
friends.
keep you abreast of this. Let's jump into asking for a friend. Where's this flipping card? Let's pretend I pressed it. Boom, 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 boom.
All right. Who we got today? 1 second, yeah. All right, this person's age 20. Are you sure it's not the light skin one? My document did not upload. Let me see. Sorry, y'all, just loading 1 second. All right. Did we talk about this the other day?
Let me see.
The grandkids are one of the light skin kids. Oh, no,
Yeah.
found this updated now. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Bloody hell. Okay, first one. It's quite long, so stay with me. This person's age 28. Don't know if it's a guy or girl, but let's find out. So, do birds of a feather flock together? A colleague of mine recently came back from a hen party in Morocco, and she was filling us in with all the details, some of which made me say, yeah? Context. Group of 10 girls, including bride-to-be, are all in Morocco to celebrate the bride. They end up doing the typical activities in Morocco, quad bikes, Nikki Beach? And also the nightclubs. Focusing on the nightclubs, as you can imagine, a large group of girls are going to attract some attention. As it turns out, they get invited onto a table, which is being hosted by 6 guys from London, and drinks and food is on them. Key context. 5 of the girls are single, the other half are in relationships, situationships. My colleague is in a relationship. If you're in a situationship, you're not in a relationship. You're single. Break free. That was not in the dilemma, that's just my cute, quick words. As the night is ending, the boys are saying after party back at their place. Some of the girls are feeling the boys. It's at this point I start looking at my colleague like, please don't be the story I think it is.
Freak off.
Why would you think is the story you think? I would just think they just... According to my colleague, everything at this point happened so fast in terms of the boys having ordered, got their cars, to the girls getting into the cars. As for what happened at the house, she said some people got with who they wanted and some people were just chilling, including her. Some of you are not scared of it, STIs. Again, that's just my input. After she told me this, do you know it's so crazy? I was listening to a podcast yesterday, about like, it was like raising awareness about HIV and stuff like that. Is the cameras off? It's back. HIV and whatnot, right? And they had like nurses on there, right? And it was just like the little things. Anyway, cut a long story short, when I go and get a sew-in now, I'm taking my own needles and stuff. It was very subtle things, and I thought, oh my gosh, like I just didn't think of these things.
What's a sew-in?
So the hair is sewn into my
Wig
braids.
stuff. All right, cool. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a sew-in, not a wig. Learn.
No, I say
So you
wig
think I'm
stuff.
going to heaven to
There's
request
like a
wigs?
category I place all of the hair like extensions or additions into. That's just my reasoning. It's confused up in here. Don't worry about it.
I just thought as well, like if I went to heaven requesting wigs, who's the hair coming from? Maybe people in hell. If that's a bird.
As a Christian, do you care about stuff like that?
Stuff like what?
Stuff like that, where the hair is coming from, because it used to be attached to a
Personally, I don't believe all these things are human hairs.
Diddyyite.
It
could be.
It's not attached to Diddy.
You ever know? It's like it's a.
Personally, I don't
luxury
believe
at
these
this
things have
point.
power over me anyway. So no, I don't believe in that. Because it's like me believing if it, like a human being can curse
That's
me.
when it is you
of course
apply
you
the
can't.
Christian.
No, I apply it full stop.
Oh.
I apply it full stop. When have I not applied the Christian
No,
thing?
it sounds as though you can basically wash any bad thing clean just as long as you sprinkle Christ and Jesus onto it. Just
Not necessarily. It's about what it's my like I'm consistent with that belief anyway.
No, 100%. If you see it being taken from like a Diddyite, then it's different.
What's a Diddyite?
Let's just say somebody.
Because Diddyites are victims. So it would have to be like a Diddy.
That's how you're hearing it.
That's what it is.
A follower of Diddy.
What's a follower of Diddy? Like who's a follower of Diddy?
let's say, a woman who you will call a pick me?
I wouldn't know. There's worse words.
Can you wear pick me hair?
How would I know? How would I know?
See, you wouldn't. Oh.
I wouldn't know that, because when you buy the hair, you don't know unless you actually know the person that's giving the hair to you, or the someone that you've asked to grow the hair for you. You don't actually know who the hair's coming from.
Is it normally white people don't offer hair for you all to put in your?
I don't know, to be honest with Brent.
Sewings, isn't it?
I don't know, Brent. I'll be honest with you. I don't. I haven't looked into...
ask questions. This how it is.
I don't. Sorry. I don't, because I don't believe in these things. I don't. There are people who do that. There are people who don't, who wouldn't, and that's good for them. But I personally don't, because it has no effects on me.
Yeah. Because Jesus sanctifies it.
No, I don't think Jesus is out here sanctifying wings in Bangladesh. But
What? Bangladesh?
well, it comes from everywhere. The hair comes from everywhere. That's what you did. Anyway, let's go back to the people in Morocco.
Yes.
So he says, after she told me this, I had so many questions. I think it's the man, because it's got very, very judgmental tones. So number one, did she tell her man? She said she was on the phone to him while they were in the car explaining the situation. Apparently he was okay, but had so many questions too. The bride, what was she doing? She was just living her best life, but wasn't one of the ones entertaining the boys. Sorry, this guy is a pick-me. He's a male pick-me here. This is someone that doesn't mind their business. You were sitting down with the bride. Oh, sorry, not the bride. You were sitting down with someone who was first-hand there in Morocco on the scene, knows the gist of everything that happened, but you've written to TDA for me to tell you what happened in Morocco on a trip I wasn't on. What's I going to do with you? You might want to start defining what dilemmas are. Start defining what the segment is actually for. 3, did any of the girls in relationship situations do the dirty? She said one possibly might have been entertaining a guy too much. Why is this your business? Aren't people grown people have sex, don't they? 4, why did they go to the boys' place? Oh, I can't believe this. Why did they go to the boys' place? She said it happened so fast and they didn't want the girls to split up. To an extent, because it's Morocco, I could understand due to safety in taxis, etc. But if 5 of you went on it, surely you could split and go home, especially if you all have partners. So my questions to the TDA family is, if you were hearing this from your partner, how would you feel? You want to answer that first, or should I carry on to the next question?
No, continue.
Is it too much information? One of those where you keep this is in, okay. Is it too much information? One of those where you keep it in the vault as long as your consciousness is free, or conscience is free. It's a hen party after all. Group and social settings. Are you now looking at the friends and making notes on how they act? Because if they're okay with this, then you are fine with it. Are you turning down tables, free drinks, and food? I tell you that no, right now. I tell you that's free. Do you know how much they charge for drinks in the club? Stupid.
Yes, you would.
Stupid. I would do what?
Turn down drinks and...
If I was with a group of my friends...
And so Diddy, the crown on the table?
Oh,
I said yes, you would. There are circumstances where you would say no. Yes, and come on.
Do you know what? Get your shit off.
Be led.
Get your shit off. You ain't got long to go. Get your shit off.
You know how many times I close my mouth because so many times I can be like, can't wait for this, can't wait for that.
Please,
this new season will be
go. Just go. Be free, king.
Monday, I'll unleash myself. Don't worry about that.
This is not your unleashed. That's crazy
no,
work.
no, it's not.
Okay, so are you turning down tables, free drinks, and food from people you've just met? In this context, they said they could have afforded it themselves, but the free option was there. Sometimes these are the scenarios that pop up in relationships, which are grey areas. Anyways, peace and blessings to the TDA family. I don't think the areas are quite great. Like, if I'm... To be fair, I've been in a situation before where I'm basically playing wing girl. Or, you know, like when there's a group of guys... You know, like when a group of guys meet a group of girls, right? And then some of them are interested in people. And the people just assume that, okay, we'll all pick one kind of thing. Without knowing people's situations. And I'm like, what made you think that I was interested in anything and with you? So, no, you don't just get to do your pickings. I don't think the area is that great. I think that some people have just different morals when they go on holiday and they do whatever it is that they want to do on holiday. I'm not, I'm struggling to, okay, you guys answer. I'm struggling.
I ain't gonna. I'm struggling too, man, because I don't understand. It's not your business, man.
She's not a business.
I hear him. He's trying to take it away from it being not his business to make it his business. Because I think he's concerned that, wait a minute, what if I'm in this situation? What if I hear my girl tell me this is the case? How would I behave knowing that her friends, her close friends, are behaving in this particular fashion?
Do you think that people are always a reflection of who their friends are?
Not always, no.
Yeah.
Not always.
Yeah.
But I think he's also thinking, "Why? I don't want this maniac around in my house." You know, I'm getting Potter's house, born again Christian. You know what I'm saying? From this person. No, because he don't want no worldly things around him.
No, he's gossiping.
He's definitely doing
He's
that.
a gossip.
He's definitely doing that.
He had gossip. He spotted his house looking self, then came and repeated the gossip to us outsiders. He spread the gossip more than the first person spread it. She thought she was confiding in her colleagues. He came and he's now told the TDA community.
This is true.
Can you imagine?
And she might be listening to the show.
I hope she is. Okay, you can stop trusting your information with tea that you clearly are not. I think people go on holiday and they do whatever it is they want to do. I don't think people are necessarily a reflection of who they are. I just think that after, like, people have different friends for different reasons. Do you get what I mean? And so at some point they will outgrow friendships and they will change and they will know what kind of friends they chill with in some kind of setting. Like there's certain friends that you go out with to the club with. There's certain friends you never go to the club with because you just know that once you go there, you're doing meet and greet with men all night. There's certain friends that you just go to brunch with. There's certain friends that you just do Bible study with. Like people have different friends for different things. I don't think that I would necessarily look at all the friendship group or whatever differently because I don't know what people's personal morals are. I don't know people's personal goals are. And I wasn't there to know what those conversations were like, to know what the energy was like and if people genuinely like each other. Do you get what I mean? Like, because if he finds out now that one of them or two of them people that were gathered there get married, is he now going to look at these things differently and say, okay, actually, such link-ups can link to that? Do you get me? I think people are on holiday and people have fun, especially if you're from the same country. It's almost like like I've met someone that's from where I am. It makes you feel as if the holiday is a little bit safer. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like you meet people that you can relate to. So I don't think it's that. And I think I would turn down tables if it comes with strings. I like stringless things. You know what I mean? I'm not like, I don't even, even if a guy wanted to like pay for things or buy me drinks, like I make it very clear that you're not going to get my number, you're not going to get my Snapchat, you're not going to get my Instagram, I'm not interested. I make it very clear I'm not interested. So if you only want to do this because you want to get my attention, please know that I'd rather you didn't. And when I came out today, I have money, hence why I'm out. I hope that helps you. Brent, do you have anything to add to that?
Nope.
I
not. Think it's the same individual. I'll engage with this individual.
That's great. Next one, let's see if this is the same individual. This person's 21. This looks serious though. Me and my girlfriend, I'm Igbo, she's Yoruba. We're wondering how much of our Nigerian culture we're willing to give up with people who are not part of the culture. For example, when it comes to food, can a white person go and make jollof rice in their house and sell it to others and call it jollof? This came from how Mexican chefs open up Chinese restaurants and pass the restaurant as Chinese since they sell Chinese food. What about music? Can a Japanese artist put an Afrobeat style to their songs and pass it off as original, despite the words being Japanese and meanings being unique to Japanese culture? And what about weddings? Could a white person who's been surrounded by Nigerian culture their whole life, studied it, and done their due diligence to show respect and admiration for the culture and understands the meanings behind the various practices involved, have a Nigerian-style wedding, let's say Igbo or Yoruba? In short, we're trying to understand just where cultural appreciation and appropriation lines are drawn, if they can be drawn at all in relation to African cultures.
So this is just about, cultural you know what? The question of can a white person do this or can a Chinese person or Mexican, the answer is yes.
They can do
Why?
whatever they want.
Because they are doing it.
They can do whatever they
Your
want.
answer is clear. You just have to look around, right? Which is obviously what you're doing and observing. Whether you think it's right is up to you or not. I think everyone is different.
I don't think it's like a discussion. I think some... No, man.
What are you going to say?
Say it next week.
There was... I'm trying to remember. You know, there's people like, all right, this question, what about weddings? Could a white person who's been surrounded by Nigerian culture their whole life studied it and done their due diligence to show respect and admiration for the culture and understands the meanings behind various practices involved, have a Nigerian-style wedding.
Sure.
I mean, they can do what they want, but obviously, those of us who are on the outside will feel a particular way.
Absolutely.
But if you know them,
people do.
If you know them, you might feel different. There's a woman, I don't know why I'm forgetting her name. She's actually respected very highly when she was alive in is it Oshogbo or something like that?
Yeah.
And what's her name? Something Venga, I believe it is. And she dedicated her life to Ifa. Completely. Moved out there. Everything is there. You know what I'm saying?
Moved out where?
To Nigeria. Yoruba land, yeah.
I went to where if I live, I was thinking, where's that?
No, but like, I can't remember what she was initiated into.
Where's she from?
She's white European.
Okay, girl.
But she moved there, I believe, at a young age, spent her whole life there and all that sort of stuff.
Okay,
so totally engrossed herself in everything that is Yoruba and stuff like that, right? So there will be exceptions, isn't it? That's not across the board. That's definitely not the norm, right?
Yeah.
I think it's different. But again, I think it depends on the individual. If you're happy with it, or if you're like close with that particular person, you're invited to the wedding, you might not feel a particular way, you know what I'm saying? But I understand where the question comes from, because it does make it seem as though our culture is just pantomime. It's just a dress up, fancy dress. Mm-hmm. Everyone come like this today. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to celebrate this culture of these black folk that live 6,000 miles away. You know what I'm saying? Like, it seems very playful.
Yeah.
And we know our culture is not something to play with.
Like a costume.
This is it.
It looks fun. So people outside of it are like, oh, I want to have fun like that as well. And we've talked about this on here, about people that want to have Nigerian weddings. They're not Nigerian or anything like that. They just feel like, oh, I want to be able to wear these things and blah, blah, blah. But, yeah,
it's very like. And the last question is, in short, we're trying to understand just where cultural appreciation and appropriation lines are drawn, if they can be drawn at all in relation to African culture. Are you asking because maybe you want to incorporate other African cultures into you guys' wedding? You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're thinking to infuse some Kenyan, Ugandan influences, some tribes over there, or something from further west. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that would be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you have more of a Pan-African mindset and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know, man. Remember, we obviously have a different relationship with the rest of the world, innit? So whenever we see somebody who's not from Africa trying to utilize things that belong to us, we feel a particular way, and rightfully so, because we know what our relationship has been with these particular groups for the last 400 or 500 years.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's a tough one. If you're asking if it's, I think some people, if I'm being honest, I think some people can appreciate, but that would, if I'm being entirely honest, that wouldn't be my default, because I'll be wondering what the hell's going on there, because this is our culture, innit? You know what I'm saying? This is our culture, and I don't believe you know why we do what we do. I don't believe you know why we, you know what I'm saying, do certain things that are traditionals. So it's just looking like a plaything to you. So that would be offensive there. That would be the appropriation. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know everyone's how.
Yeah. But then after a while as well, you got to just stop being offended by things, because you're always going to be offended by things. You just got to let people be the losers that they want to be. Do you know what I mean? You can't control that. So when I see certain people appropriating Nigerian cultures, I just think, loser. All the best. May you find an identity one day. I wish that girl. I just wish them the best. Do you know what I mean? Last one is from a girl who's age 23, and she says, why do Caribbeans and African Americans get so offended when you tell them they originated from Africa? LOL. I don't understand, I guess, why we do it. She's Kittian. I think Iman forgot to do the Pride Month appreciation on TDA. So first we'll go to the Caribbean. Brent, why are Caribbeans and African Americans offended when you say they're from Africa? Are you offended when people say you're from Africa?
No.
Because you definitely have Nigerian tendencies, I tell you that. Nigerian men tendencies.
Thanks. It's a blessing. I'm from Yoruba land.
Sure. It's for Yoruba.
I'm more Yoruba than him.
What?
I'm more Yoruba than him.
How'd you figure that?
Because I'm not Ghanaian.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sure.
Obviously some do, some don't. You'll find more Caribbeans who don't than you do, in my estimation, to be honest. It's a sign of ignorance.
And then, Ima, what happened to your Pride Month doc?
No, I did it, you know, I think.
Every day of Pride Month?
No. I told you from day dot I wasn't going to do it every day. I don't see why I need to at all.
What did you do? You just wish them happy Pride?
Yeah, pick up the Pride.
There's no history?
No, I did. I think it was day one. I came out, I said, yo, this is the history of the Priders and all that stuff. The reason why they do
the Priders?
Yeah.
They're proud.
It's a word of what's the word? You know, what's the word that
Brent,
we
he's
use?
looking to you.
Brent, what's the word that we use for the N word? And say it's a term of endearment. You know what I'm saying? I mean it with love. You know what I'm saying? So I did it on the first day. I broke down the history.
That would be nice though.
The
Because they're
Stonewall.
proud.
That's what I'm saying.
Because they're proud.
Imagine.
The pride. Sounds like fierce lions. It's the pride.
See what we did?
This time next year, you ain't even doing that.
Why not?
This guy.
We know these.
You wouldn't allow it?
I'm taking it somewhere else.
To the left, to the left.
Oh man.
Just some inside jokes, people.
No will be revealed.
You know what I'm saying? but in all. But I did actually, you know what I mean, go through like the history and talk about the Stonewall riots and all that sort of stuff.
What's the problem, girl?
I think they were expecting a whole month, and
We don't
I'm
do
pretty sure-
a whole month for anybody
You know what I'm saying?
but Black History
Come
Month.
on, man. You know what I'm saying?
Black History Month is the only month where there's,
I'm not dedicating a whole month to people's preferences. And
We didn't even get International Women's Day. We just got a shout out.
you know what I'm saying?
That was it.
Yeah, what did the people say? Let's be guided. You know
Let's
what
be
I'm
guided. Oh, let's be guided is my favorite thing ever.
It's above me.
It's above me now.
saying? You know what I'm saying?
I'm so sorry, but it's above me now. Okay, well, that's it for today. As far as that goes, is what's next? Because it's
I think that's
End of the
pretty
show?
much it, man. Yeah.
all right. Let's wrap it up.
Done
then.
out here is the award goes to GTA for his insensitive comments earlier on this morning.
Yeah, like how could you do that? Talk about someone died and just got married, had a baby, and you're talking about so Liverpool's gonna be selling what? Like read the room, man.
Damn.
But then it just shows you as well that oh my gosh, human beings. Like it just shows you how people think about life though. Do you know what I mean? And that's why we said that when people go through things and when people are grieving and stuff, you're really the only person that knows what you're really dealing with and has to wake up to that reality over and over again. Other people it's like news to them and it's just a fleeting thought that crap, life is precious. And they just carry on back to their bullshit that they were doing before. Well, but RIP to that young man, that is very, very, that's very, very sad.
Yeah,
And
man.
love to his teammates as well. That's going to be horrible as well.
They're going to be distraught.
Very distraught.
Absolutely distraught.
Sad.
That's sad. All right, let's wrap this up, please.
All right, people. It's been a good show, man. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we spoke about quite a few things, man. First and foremost, we gave up praise to the legendary Patrice Emery Lumumba, who yesterday would have been 100 years old. We also spoke about Sean Combs, Diddy, denied bail despite being cleared of most of the serious crimes in the sex trafficking trial. We also spoke about MPs who have approved the plan to prescribe Palestine Action as a terrorist group. That is diabolical. And on top of that, when you look at how many people passed it as well, 385 votes to 26. Insane. We also spoke about the borrowing cost jump and how the pound has fallen. And we also spoke about Chancellor Rachel Reeves' tears. Damn, man. But, Keir Starmer eventually, he didn't do it at first, but eventually he bigged her up and said, I'm standing by her sort of thing. And we also spoke about the judge's order for a robust inquiry into MI5's false evidence. We also spoke about the IDF using a £500 bomb in a strike. Basically in the Gaza cafe. £500 bomb. This is the reason why, this is the reason why Bobby Villain said what they said. Because even though he said something, these people are doing something. This is a 230 kilogram bomb, a powerful and indiscriminate weapon that generates a massive blast wave and scatters shrapnel over a wide area. They have killed people, civilians who have nothing to do with anything, just chilling, Went there for a little coffee. Tried to forget about all the things that they're suffering in that country. Gone, wiped out, just like that.
I hope they're cool though, as in the Bobby guys, because they're a brand, right? It's not just one individual.
Yeah, it's two.
Because I know they've been dropped by the management.
Yeah.
Then there's a lot coming their way.
Yep. That's what will happen.
So I hope they're cool.
That's what
Because that is
happened.
a lot to that's a lot to deal with.
Yeah. You might. You're probably gonna get the invite to go and sit down with Jewish organizations, isn't it? And stuff like this. So maybe if you want to get your career back, you might need to go to them quicker, offer it up, and go to the museum, let them tell you about the Holocaust and stuff, and then hopefully you make amends. Or, let me not go into
I can't even tell what side. I don't even know. Like, I'm hearing what you're saying. My brain is struggling to compute it. Just, don't try to explain to me. Just.
Do you think there'll ever be a time when this particular platform focuses on like not talking about them at all and minds our front?
Yeah, if people don't step in front of us when we're trying to run our race.
No, if they stop it in the news.
Yeah.
It's a news platform, no? You think guys are just here to gist?
No, but it's the extra.
Oh, the extra ad-libs.
Sprinkle. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, there's only one way that could happen.
No, do you know?
You gotta get this man off.
I'll be telling you, I don't like it when people outside of the black community talk bad about black people. I hate it with a passion. I really do. This is the reason why.
I think it will. I think it will actually, even with Iman still on here. When it's got the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you've been done there.
Sure, I might be tired.
You were tired. Not tired, because I don't think you can get tired of fighting the fight you're fighting.
Sure, indeed.
But I just think that you would just focus on what it is that you need to do here. And then you go off there.
That's true.
And
although I might say for more, come there.
The thing is, that's the weirdest thing, because it's going to be this is going to be your show.
Like you've got this. This is you.
Like he goes, and he has this stupid little mug with NY on it, right?
Peace to the nation.
Okay, whatever.
You know what I'm saying?
And he sips and he says, "Yeah,
now
the producer is saying, this person such as not really damn."
Literally.
Facts.
You shouldn't have anything. By the time you're done, you shouldn't have anything left for this platform.
He walks.
You should just let this platform be.
He walks up to the room with fire.
Just listen. Just wanted to cool down.
He sees the next one like at the door waiting for us to. He's like, wait.
Just wait, man.
He tells the person, look the door.
Don't worry.
Oh man.
So
it's gonna be a good time, man.
It's gonna be a great time.
You'll know more people.
It's gonna be a great time. Because when Brent to me, I said, oh.
bloody. She said wait next week. When does it stop next week?
Next week, baby.
We also talk about, guys, you got a chance to design Britain's new banknote.
You got a chance to do free labor.
That's what they're
as
saying.
if you're not doing enough.
There you go. And we also spoke about Donald Trump blocking Ukraine weapons deliveries. Why? Because they want to put American interests first. They're saying that basically they're low. You know what I'm saying? They need to keep what they got for America. And we also spoke about Jamaica's film industry getting boost from new funds and global collaborations. We had people from Netflix producers to Nollywood producers, programming directors, and all of that, all going to Jamaica to big up the local talent in Jamaica.
What's the Jamaican film industry called? Jollywood?
I have no idea, you know.
Jollywood sounds like a crime.
But why did everyone choose to do that, though? Why did everyone
Nollywood?
And Bollywood. Why?
Bollywood is number 1. Nollywood is number 2. Who's number 3? Hollywood. But Jollywood sounds like a sex offender.
Yeah, that one
That's
is dangerous.
crazy. I saw posters, actually. TFL have got posters now that if people flash you, it is a crime. It's sexual assault and report them.
Yeah.
That's happened a lot in my secondary school, you know. Because my school was like around woods. And so you're on your way to just your ICT lesson. There'd just be a random man there. Just,
That is crazy.
Sick. Sick. Anyway.
Yeah, man. And I think that's pretty much... No, topic of the day, of course, we spoke about Diddy.
Sure did.
And, yeah, man. It was a good episode,
how he
man.
cheated death.
Yeah, basically. And,
You know what you said? The results of the poll, they're in. All right, the question was, are you happy that Diddy may walk? 55%, 9% say yes. Thank God. Come on, GG. 11% say free our innocent black men.
What?
24% say karma will get him. And 55% say no, he deserves time. That is the makeup of our voting
55.
audience. That's quite interesting.
Very interesting. Free our black man is the choice. And I hope whoever it is that's doing you, I hope you get freed from it too. That's a choice. That's crazy work. Our is even crazier. He mine. God forbid. All right, people. Well, we will see you here tomorrow.
Like the video, man.
Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that great stuff. Big up all of you guys in the chat. As always, tuned in live. Big up all the Spotify listeners listening after the fact and the YouTube watchers after the fact. Hope you guys are good. Big up Mel the Baker.
100%.
Not for any reason, just thinking about her.
100%.
Big up you, girl.
Enjoy
Big up,
these
big up.
days. These days. Enjoy every day. This month. You never know. Things might change. So enjoy it. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Cherish it.
He's spitting all over the mic.
Cherish.
So much
Cherish every single day.
Cherish. You never know what tomorrow might bring, man.
You never know what tomorrow might bring. You never know what Monday might bring. You never know what Tuesday might bring.
Or
Cherish
Wednesday.
every single last
Good things
day.
happen on Wednesdays.
Every single last day.
All right. See you later.
Later.
Peace.
Bye.